Is retired Chief Justice David Maraga planning to vie for the presidency in 2027? Maraga's recent activities seem to suggest that the retired CJ may be harboring political ambitions, with Kenyans on social media calling on him to go for the top seat in the upcoming presidential contest. NTV's David Mudhoka traces Maraga's political movements in recent months in a bid to answer the question of whether the former Chief Justice could be planning to throw his hat in the ring.
Since his retirement in January 2021, former Chief Justice David Kenani Maraga had kept a somewhat low profile. On the X platform, the country's 14th Chief Justice made only 13 posts between when he left office and last December, when Maraga all of a sudden became active on social media. The 13 posts he made were mainly to debunk fake news attributed to him and pass messages of condolence, including this condolence message to the family of the late President Mwai Kibaki and this condolence message to the family of the late General Francis Ogola. However, between last December and now, the retired Chief Justice has made 9 posts, just 4 short of the 13 he made in the last 4 years of retirement. His comeback post was this statement veiled as a New Year message to Kenyans, but in reality a scathing attack at the government over the spate of abductions in the country, which has since garnered over 300,000 views. Exactly a month later, on 31st January 2024, Maraga made another post condemning abductions and extrajudicial killings in the country by stating, and I quote, "We cannot remain silent. These crimes are a profound betrayal of the future of our nation and the sanctity of the Constitution. A leadership that abates a culture of killings and human rights violations jeopardizes its legitimacy." To date, the post has garnered over 390,000 views. This month, Maraga has remained active both online and offline. On 4th February, the retired CJ met a group of young activists led by Nyamisa Chelagat, who claimed to have updated Maraga on their movement's struggle for good governance, the rule of law, and constitutionalism. Acknowledging the visit, Maraga posted, and I quote, "I was inspired by your passion and commitment to transform Kenya into a better place for everyone. The youth struggle for a better Kenya deserves all our support." End of quote. Today, Maraga, Seventh-day Adventist, dropped the clearest hint yet that he may not only be considering going for the top job, but also considering the youth as his voting bloc by attending a church service at the ACK Holy Trinity Church in Kibra, Nairobi. Immediately after the Sunday service, Maraga posted, and I quote, "As part of my ongoing engagement with the youth, the young people invited me to the ACK Holy Trinity Church in Kibra, Nairobi for their youth service today. The service was presided over by Barack Oduor, whose sermon was on Moses' leadership of the children of Israel out of Egypt. After the service, I had a chance to engage some of the youth and was impressed and encouraged by their enthusiasm and belief in the possibility of a new Kenya that will address their concerns." End of quote. That last statement seems to strongly suggest that Maraga is eyeing an elective seat, or at least vested in politics. A man who shook the country and the world by historically nullifying a presidential victory and several months later ruling that parliament should be disbanded for failing to meet the 2/3 gender rule could be back to his old self, willing to take the bull by its horns, this time in the murky political arena and not in the corridors of justice like before. However, several political analysts have scoffed at 74-year-old Maraga's chances of being a force to reckon with should he decide to throw his hat in the ring. Analyst Jarvis Bigambo says Maraga is not only mistaken that he is popular for annulling a presidential election before, but also incapable of mounting a serious challenge to President William Ruto, who will be seeking re-election in less than 3 years' time.
Writing on Facebook or Twitter alone does not amount to political messaging that is stirring or inspiring. So he needs to rethink, reorganize, re-strategize, and in fact shed off the old skin of a laid-back jurist and become a serious dragon of a politician if at all he wants to be a compelling presidential candidate.
Bigambo's counterpart Martin Andati, on the other hand, has said that it is unlikely that Maraga, who will be 76 in 2027, will join politics, adding that a good dancer not only knows when to leave the stage, but also deliberately chooses to stay away from it.
Maraga is just, he served as Chief Justice. He retired at, is it 70 or 72?
He retired at 70.
Yeah, so I don't think he will be keen on going into elective politics. He has built his career in the judiciary. Yeah, so I don't think he would want to soil his reputation by getting into politics. You know, politics has a lot of uncertainties.
It remains to be seen whether retired Chief Justice David Maraga will be addressing rumors that he plans to run for the presidency in the coming days. Already, his predecessor, Willie Mutunga, has dismissed reports that he intends to run for the presidency. Will Maraga be following in the footsteps of Mutunga, or will he be charting his own path? David Muthoka, NTV, Nairobi.